Also, I watched Inception for the first time. I know it sounds insane.
It
There's a
doesn't
lot.
though. You're
There's
what, 22, 23, 25, 21, 20?
22.
Yeah, it's you were 7 when it came out.
Shit, no, no. It came out what 2014?
2010.
Oh shit, yeah. I was like 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, like of course you didn't see it.
Damn, why was I thinking it came out in 2014? So what was that?
Um,
Was that Revenant? Was that 2013, 2014?
oh yes, yes, yeah, around there, if not 15, 14. Yeah,
Yeah, I knew that and like Wolf of Wall Street came out at the same time. I don't know
yeah.
why I thought Inception did too. If Inception, Wolf of Wall Street, and The Revenant came out in the same year, that would have been like this year for Zendaya.
Yes, yeah, yes, exactly.
Has there been anyone in Hollywood who's had a better year than Zendaya right now?
Um, I guess considering what she's in, no. I mean, you can make the claim that Sydney Sweeney has had good years in bad movies. Um, like
But
her career accelerated due to her appearance. Um, what is it? What's her uh the green chick from Avenger Guardians of the
what's
Galaxy?
what's her tits?
Yeah. What the shit is your name?
I know her as Gamora. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep. She's been in a ton of big shit.
Hmm.
Because whenever there's an Avatar, she's in it.
That's
Um,
her.
yeah, yeah, she's the main blue chick. Likes
Hmm.
being different colors, it seems.
Yeah, must haters like Michael Jackson.
Zoe Saldana, that's her name. So I don't know if she's had years like Zendaya has this year, and Zendaya still has Dune coming out, which
And that's what I'm saying. And I
wow.
don't even if let's say people and I've never even seen Dune 1 or 2, but let's say Dune 3 isn't as high because I don't see anybody hating it.
Mhm.
But let's say it's not even held in as high of a regard as Dune 1 and 2, but it's still, like people are like, hey, we like it, we don't love it.
Yeah.
That is, she has Euphoria season 3, which whether people liked it or not, it doesn't matter. It
Hmm.
was Euphoria season, it's the finale.
Hmm.
Then she had the drama, which a lot of people didn't even see, but I
Hmm.
loved it, and I thought there
Yep.
was a really great conversation with that.
Hmm.
Then she had Spider-Man Brand New Day and uh what the fuck was it? The Odyssey in
Hmm.
the same month.
Yep.
And then Dune 3. Like that is by far the best year I think you could ever ask for as an actor.
Sure. Sure. I'm sure her bank account appreciates it too.
Oh yeah. And the fact that Tom had the Odyssey and Spider-Man as well,
Well,
like
it seems like half the people that were in Spider-Man Brand New Day were also in the Odyssey.
yeah, yeah, John Bernthal and Tom Holland and Zendaya. And then John Bernthal, even talking about him, hell, he had the Odyssey, Spider-Man. He had the Punisher short film or whatever it
Mm.
was that came out. His and Hers on Netflix that came out, which I liked, I didn't love, but it was a really popular thing. It was a moment.
This is the
Uh,
first I'm hearing it. I'm unfamiliar. It's
Really, it
interesting.
was it was a it's a limited series. He plays like this cop and his ex-wife. There's he's just a cop in a small town. There's a murder, and then it's a whodunit story, and then his ex-wife is back in town, and it just so happens to be at the same time, and then there's this huge rabbit trail, and it's
Mm.
very soap opera, very murder mystery style, but
Okay.
it's fucking John Bernthal. Like his parts, he does really good, and luckily he's the lead of the entire thing. So, um, before we get into Inception, though, I just had some other things I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Like, for example, Spider Man. I'm a huge Spider Man fan. I know you've had this, like, superhero fatigue that
Yeah.
you'd call it. And I feel like that word is like every other word. And on the internet is used incorrectly and overused. But there are people who use it correctly, and the way that you have said that you have had this fatigue is you meant like you feel overexposed in a lot of ways, and that everything you have been exposed to, even before Endgame, I believe you said, was just there was a lot before Endgame and after, especially after Endgame, that you just feel isn't worth watching, and it is tainted the way you felt about the superhero genre. Am I?
Yeah, I don't know if I've said this to you or what, but you're right. I was kind of tired of the situation leading into both Infinity War and Endgame, but I might like Infinity War more than Endgame.
I
Um,
think so too. Me too.
but with that, like being this grand ending, I really enjoyed uh, that experience with both Infinity War and Endgame, and seeing it like opening weekend with a crowd was really, it made the experience that much better.
Hmm.
Um, I just felt like, yeah, you've done what 20 odd movies that have led up to this culmination here. This actually feels worth it, and you got me to think, okay, um, I might have been a little bored, uninterested in some of the movies along the way, but this feels like it was worth it. Like this big culmination, this giant ending at the end of multiple dozen movie um, road. Um, it was a great way to make all of it feel worth it. But the problem was they went right back to, they just basically did a reset. And I don't know, I don't know why studios don't just rest on their laurels a little bit where, you know, um, you did something spectacular. You can't do perfect every time. When everything's special, nothing is. So
Yeah.
it's gotta feel like, oh yeah, this this was worth it, and maybe we can think about how awesome it was for another, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. But nope, right back into it. And if anything, like it set this bar where it was like, okay, we did it right this first time. It's going to be hard to match it. And for a stretch there, in the certainly in the early 2020s, they really weren't. It's odd because as much as Marvel was doing things so well, like even like Safe for them was still like a 3-star movie. Um,
Yeah.
they stopped being safe, and it was no longer safe, and it was more, you know, uninteresting. And the special nature of those movies really kind of worn out. And yeah, having a bunch of mid every 3 to 4 months, it it takes away from the brand, I feel.
Yeah, and sorry about me reaching earlier. I was grabbing a couple movies I've picked up that I want to dive into in a minute as well. Because since last time me and you've chat, I've seen a lot, and especially this year, there's been a lot of lows this year,
Mhm.
but we've had so many highs, in my
Mhm.
opinion, that it's so crazy. Because the past, I'd say since 2022 was the last year that I remember so far that I mean, it felt like it was banger after banger. It felt like almost everything was hitting.
Especially
And
horror. Yeah.
yes, and I feel like this year is the closest year we've had to where, sure, there are some really bad movies, there's some
Mhm.
really stupid lows, there's even a lot of middles, but we've also had a lot of highs, and
Mhm.
those highs have hit harder than any high in the past few years.
Mhm.
2023, I don't remember hardly anything.
Barbenheimer. Nothing else.
Barbenheimer, 2024, The Wild Robot, Transformers 1, and Deadpool and Wolverine is really all I remember from that year, as bad as that is. Um, but going back into what I was talking about earlier with Spider-Man, you've seen the movie, right?
Mhm.
Okay, what are your quick thoughts on that one? Given
Um,
the context of the fatigue we just talked about.
so in my review, I said that it, it, I really, really enjoyed the movie for about 2/3.
Okay.
The first, what, hour, half, hour 45, I really enjoyed that story because it felt like something so, um, it felt like such a departure from stuff we've seen with comic book stuff and even Spider-Man himself. Like this Peter Parker dude dealing with the fact that, um, you know, his closest friends don't remember him, and he still has these feelings for people, and they basically don't know who he is. I joked and I said, we had Obsession earlier in the year where a girl didn't want the same thing that the guy did, and Spider-Man Brand New Day basically did the same thing without all the
Yeah.
wish casting.
That is
um,
crazy. Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed just Peter Parker just dealing with, being New York City's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but not having that anchor of friendship to deal with. Feeling this way about people that you have memories with, but they don't with you. Um, but the the last half an hour or so, I felt like was overstuffed Marvel situation where it was like, yeah, I was okay with this just being, Peter Parker and even like the Punisher. I was concerned that you would have an R-rated character, uh, bickering with Spider-Man, and it was going to feel like neutered, but it really wasn't. I was quite impressed. Um, I don't know if you want to go into spoilers, but I think the villain um, was an extra exclamation point.
We can get into spoilers. So spoilers if you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah, which you probably have because everyone's watched it by now, I would feel.
Yes.
I think Jean Grey is great. Don't get me wrong; it's great. The hand, I felt like there's a certain point where you can overstuff something, and Jean Grey alone, her taking over people's, close to Spider-Man, like that was more than enough for me. Having the hand involved, I felt like just made like extra, just extra. Things were overstuffed, and it felt like they were doing the Avengers thing, where like we've got to mention these characters, and what's her face from Thunderbolts, just unnecessary, just
Yelena.
completely unnecessary in this movie. Yeah, shit. Yeah, I forgot Florence Pugh. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it was two movies that the first hour and a half was its own movie, but the last 40 minutes was the second movie. And if anything, I'd prefer the movie to be 3 hours long. If you're going to put that much in the third act, uh, let it breathe and let me grow some sort of consideration or care for the thing. And it's just like it's such an odd flip flop from, we're with Spider-Man, Peter Parker dealing with his own personal shit, and then, oh, by the way, we have like Avengers level shit happening in the last 30 minutes. And I feel like you could take that last 30 minutes off and it's still, I think I like the movie more if you take that last half an hour off. If you end the movie with them playing Legos in the living room, that's the movie for me. That's a 5-star movie to me. But it kept going.
So what about the third act lost you? Was it the Jean Grey stuff or
It's not that it lost me so much as it, I have no reason to accuse the movie of this, but I feel like sometimes studios or filmmakers don't trust an audience enough to just like I said, the the Peter Parker story,
Mhm.
not that big a deal. It's a great movie. He's got conflict. His friends don't know who he is, but he still has these feelings while also being this superhero. Um, I feel like studios are like, no, we got to have shit blowing up. We need to have, cape shit because they'll be pissed if they come to see Spider-Man and we don't give them 15 other characters to interact with. Um, I have no reason to accuse them of that, but it just feels like you know, they don't trust that first story to be enough because some of it just was, again, Florence Pugh. I mean, great. We're getting member berries with a bunch of characters, and I'm sure they're planting seeds for movies moving ahead. But you could probably cut some of these characters out. Like
Yeah.
it takes away the 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 quality, the threat of some of these characters if they're not a big enough deal to be the villain of the movie. Listen, Jean Grey is probably the villain of this movie, but um, Scorpion, uh, the Hand, like there's a bunch of other things in this movie where it's like,
Tarantula, Tombstone.
yeah, like
It,
even like the Hulk is kind of a little thing there in the middle where it's like, guys, you have 15 characters in this movie that could be a villain in any other movie, but because we're doing all of these different things, I don't feel like I should worry about them. The stakes aren't there because oh, it's the first act and I know there's plenty of shit to still happen.
I think so. There's a lot there that I don't disagree with. Like, I honestly don't even
It's
think I
fine.
disagree
Like
with
I
any
listen,
of it.
I know I'm the odd man out, especially when it comes to this. Listen,
Not really.
I rather enjoyed Brand New Day. I just wish it ended at the Lego scene. I still give it 4 stars. So
No, I get it. Like, do not defend yourself because, dude, I get it. And I mean, I came out saying it is my second favorite Spider-Man movie ever. And like, I'm a Spider-Man fanatic.
what's your first one? Two?
Yeah, too. Obviously, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's most people's. And
Right.
this, my ranking does include the Spider-Verse movies, so it even tops those two movies for me
Mm-hmm.
because now the Spider-Verse movies feel incomplete. If you're
Yep.
just talking about the first Spider-Verse movie, I might would even put it as my second favorite, if not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's an incomplete story,
Mm-hmm.
so Brand New Day tops it for me. The overstuffed feeling, I feel like, and this is just for me, it didn't bother me as bad because there are, I think there's only two Spider-Man movies that don't feel overstuffed, and that's or maybe three. That's Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, and then Andrew Garfield's first Spider-Man. The rest of
Mm-hmm.
them are completely overstuffed.
Fair.
And so that issue is just, I feel like we'll never get away from that again.
Yep.
And that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like out of all the ones that are, and if you include the insanely ones, like no context on what the story is, but if you're just talking about the amount of characters, you have TASM 2, you have Spider-Man 3, and then I would also include No Way Home and Brand New Day. And I think out of all of those, even my bottom Spider-Man movie out of all those would be probably Spider-Man 3. I'd love it to death. But I think Brand New Day does it best than all of them, including No Way Home. I
Mm-hmm.
think No Way Home is, I say it's like the line that Doc Ock says, brilliant but lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's brilliant for the audience. And I think it is a good movie. Even if you were to take Toby and Andrew out of that movie, I think it's still a good movie, but it's lazy. It's very lazy writing. It's very simple. And I think Brand New Day did something that I think almost every Spider-Man fan has been shouting from the rooftop. Like,
Simple doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing for the record. You could do simple and
right?
still okay.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a criticism either. That was just the easiest way I could put it is just brilliant, but lazy as in it's great simple. Like it's potato chips. It's not lobster and
Obsession
steak.
is a simple movie, but it's very effective.
Very effective. No Way Home. Very effective for a Spider-Man fan. Brand New Day. It does feel overstuffed, but not as bad in the sense that like D Wolf, the character D Wolf, the cop lady that Spider-Man talks to. Because I haven't read the
Oh,
comics and because I haven't even played the games, which is crazy calling myself a Spider-Man fan. I haven't even played the games. I'm just not a gamer, but the D Wolf character I really fell in love with. They did very little with her. They
mm.
established Peter's relationship with D Wolf and they did it beautifully with no time. She probably has what would you say, maybe 3 minutes of screen time the entire movie.
Yeah.
and it's very effective. I mean, the most effective. And at one point, I was worried she was going to die. And I'm so glad she didn't because I think that would
Mhm.
have been a really bad choice. But I think what they did with D Wolf and Peter is great. I think what they did with Peter's battle, like you said, with him and MJ and Ned, I thought was amazing. I thought that Zendaya gave the best MJ performance I've ever seen, including Kristen Dunst. It
Mhm.
was awesome in this movie. Um, the Punisher thing I thought was going to bother me, like you said, taking a rated R character, but I think they did it really well. The
I
only thing that
agree.
bothered me was he didn't call him Bug, because I'm pretty sure in the comics he calls him Bug. He calls Daredevil Red, and it
Oh man.
there's certain things like that in that character, but that's nitpicking. I thought
Hmm.
that he they drew the line of him cussing like he does very
Right.
well. He was
Right.
still cussing like a sailor in this
Right.
movie, and they got away with it. I thought that was
Hmm.
awesome,
Hmm.
and how he talks to Peter, um, and I've seen people having issues with the ending where he puts on the Spider-Man mask and he's doing the gorilla hoo hoo hoo, and a lot of people didn't like that. They were like, "That's not Daredevil, or that's not the Punisher." I think it is. I think it worked very well for what it was because he's
Yeah, in the hospital, right? Like
yeah,
when he's looking out the window, like that's yeah. I buy that for what they gave us of the character because he's simply a distraction. It's not really.
exactly.
He's
And
posing as someone else. He's not trying to be himself.
that and he it also shows he clearly doesn't know how the hell the Spider-Man acts.
Right.
And he just met this kid, and then people were like, "That's not the Punisher because the Punisher wouldn't cry." Yeah, okay, buddy. Watch season 2 of Daredevil and watch season 1 of the Punisher and tell me he doesn't cry.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, people had issues and qualms with the Punisher and MJ's dialogue, and I thought that was like the best. How she's so smart ass and smart aleck towards him,
Hmm.
and that's just who MJ is. She's like that towards everybody. She's very nonchalant and distant,
Hmm.
and him telling her like don't touch anything and be careful where you step. I'm not going to help you out getting up to this boat, and if your body explodes, I don't feel like cleaning up body parts, in the morning. Shit like that, I loved. The Hulk, I can see the Hulk being an issue in the movie, and people having problems with it. Um, I think if it was just Spider-Man and the Hulk, it wouldn't have worked. I think the Punisher being there with Spider-Man really worked, and also it didn't feel like. Did you see Captain America: Brand New Day or Brave New
Uh,
World?
I have, but it didn't register at all. So Red Hulk is what you're talking about, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, I did. It's been so long, and I just really wasn't impressed with that movie.
I wasn't either. Very, very forgettable movie.
Hmm.
It felt like a Hulk sequel, which that part of the movie I guess was cool, but it wasn't a Captain America movie, and I was really worried about that with this Spider-Man Brand New Day being another Hulk sequel, and it wasn't, and I thought I was worried about the Hulk being a side character to Spider-Man when he wasn't. And I thought that how they got the Hulk to be the Hulk was brilliant. It was Jean Grey. She took over. She made him break his thing and take it off his
Yeah.
wrist, and that's really smart. And her, of course, following Peter throughout the story and seeing his interaction with, well, that is how I take it. She's seen his interaction with Peter and Bruce, and that's how she knew to go to Bruce.
Yeah,
Or
if I can go a little bit further, and this is kind of like my gripes, and this is not the problem that I guess it's not a movie problem; it's a me problem. Watching horror where everyone dies,
yeah,
superhero stuff. I feel like the stakes are at like a ceiling. I would have. I kind of enjoyed everything, and like you said, I enjoy that little in that Hulk and Spider Man are fighting because Jean Grey is controlling him. I would like a step further and have Hulk uh, hurt someone really badly, or even he be the one that I don't know, have someone be collateral damage and have that sit with both Spider-Man and Hulk because Spider-Man's already listen, maybe not Spider-Man because he's already got his own thing, like as far as emotions are concerned. But if you're going to have the Hulk in the movie, give me a reason to, I don't know, not think, oh,
Almost
he's gonna be
fear.
safe. Yeah, yeah. I like whenever certain characters in movies, I'm like, there's no chance they're dying. There's no chance they're doing this. No chance they're doing that. If they could subvert that, I would be impressed. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, the Hulk's here. It's halfway through the movie. There's no shot he's dying. No shot he's killing anyone because he's merely, the third villain type character in this movie. And
Take
it's
the take the guy that got hit by the car and don't let him get hit by the fucking car because that was insane. Like Spider-Man had 24 hours to save that dude and he didn't. Like that was stupid. I hated that part. I mean, it was
mhm,
shocking. It's cool in the moment,
mhm,
but the guy getting him hit by the car, take that same character and basically the same moment and put it in that building where the Hulk and
the
Spider-Man are
Hulk.
fighting
I
and have the
agree.
Hulk be the car in that scenario.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And that would be a better, I mean, literally the same thing, just swap the
1000%.
moment.
That's a yes. I couldn't have said it better. Exactly. That's right.
And I mean, and it's just like you said, collateral. And there was, like in the window of the Hulk hurting people, and of course, the damage he caused, and when Bruce come back, and he's like, "No, I did it again. I did it again."
Mhm,
And then he's trying to hand him that extractor thingamajigger,
mhm.
and he throws it, and he tells him to get out of here. Um, that moment hits hard, but you don't see the collateral. You see the building collateral. You don't
Mhm.
see So have him do that moment and then hurt that guy. And then whenever he's falling out the building and Peter's like, "Hey, it's me. It's your old friend." I almost wonder if the Hulk remembers Peter, but Bruce doesn't. If that makes
Mm,
sense. And
a
then
little
you
bit,
have
yeah.
Bruce. Then you have Bruce. After he falls out the building, they grab him up and they take him to a loony bin. You know how much more effective that would have been if he hurt that guy?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
that would have been so much better. So, yeah, I
I
agree with you 100%.
the cynical part of me feels like, oh well, it's not a movie. It's not a Hulk movie, so they're not going to go to that length filling that character out, and that's kind of frustrating. But I could be wrong.
You
But
know what? If it's not a Hulk movie, but if they would have taken out the Elena scenes, because why do we need Spider-Man in a hot tub and then his feet come up and it's funny, cool.
mhm,
I will say that's like the only MCU humor in the movie that just didn't work for me. Most of
mhm.
the humor actually worked well. Also, I love that they didn't undercut any important moment with humor.
Right.
Like
Right.
this, the scene where Peter and MJ they get back to the boat and she reads the letter, and then whenever she wants to go home, she comes back in the frame and says, "Hey, I don't have a cell phone." That could have been a humorous moment, and I kind of smirked, but they didn't linger on it, and there wasn't a punchline like right after. It was like, "Oh yeah, like I need to face this and take you home."
Yeah. I really appreciate the fact that the movie basically has Peter Parker friend zoned, but by the movie's end, there's not like this, oh, we're back together thing where like let us sit with it for a little bit. If you build it for a couple of movies, when they finally do get back together, it feels like, oh, we've waited so long for this. And I'm like, I'm really glad that they didn't cut to that so quickly. Like let us breathe with the fact that Peter's friend zone for a little bit. And other movies would do everything they can to get them back together so quickly. And I really
Honest,
appreciate that about this movie.
I was going to be really upset if that kiss worked, and I'm
Yes,
so glad it didn't.
right.
But there is something to say. If a damn handshake worked, and if Jean Grey wasn't in MJ in that moment, would that kiss have worked? Did it not work only because she wasn't MJ?
Dude, I'm telling you, Obsession. We had two of those movies this year.
Exactly, exactly. All right, I'll get off Spider Man because I did a whole spoiler stream. No, none. The two listeners I have do not want to hear that shit again. Um, so today I picked up a movie, and I'd say Spider Man. Haven't seen MZ King yet. I'm dying to see it. Unfortunately it will have to be on VOD because no theater around me within a
Cody's been talking about that for a while.
long time. It almost
Mhm.
feels like a year and a half, going on two
Yeah, I
years.
think he saw it in 24.
I could have sworn it was 24, but I guess it was 25 is when he did see it.
Oh, okay. It's definitely been a full year plus.
Yes. But that I feel like that would maybe make my top five or so. Have I seen it yet?
Hmm.
But right now I have Spider Man, and then Obsession clearly in my top five. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. In my opinion, it's Gore Verbinski's best movie in my opinion, and I don't even think it's close.
How many of his movies have you seen?
I've seen a few.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
have Pirates. You have
The Ring.
maybe four or five.
Okay.
Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die might be the fifth or so.
Okay.
I'd have to look, but this one I picked up today.
Really like that one. Yep.
This one and Spider Man so far are like tie. If I could have a tie for number one, it's them two.
Yeah.
Because that movie, I've seen it three times now, and it for a movie so, and it's crazy because you talk about bigger movies like Inception. There's a lot there, and there's a lot of value in the rewatches. All of Nolan's films, you rewatch them, you're picking up different shit.
Mm-hmm.
Most movies you do, but not anything that can even. Some movies you rewatch and it actually changes the way you saw it the first time
Right.
completely. You
Right.
can change perspectives and everything. Project Hail Mary has been one that is so simple in a linear point to where you have flashbacks and shit that kind of build the story as the movie goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've watched a movie more than two, three times and have loved it more every time I've watched it, but also have changed the way I've thought about the story every time I've watched it. I've never
Interesting.
it's been such a weird and honestly an amazing experience with this movie because when I first watched it, it was a simple take it in, enjoy the view. I watched it in the theater by myself, and just to have that big ass screen to
Mm-hmm.
myself, it felt like in that environment, it felt amazing. Beautiful movie, wonderful story. I'm a Ryan Gosling stan, and then to experience it at home again by myself, I caught a lot of things that I guess because I was so immersed in the experience in the theater, there are some heavy story points that I missed completely. And I caught them on that second watch, and I loved the movie even more for a different reason. And then this last time I just watched it, um, I caught a couple more things, but the spoilers for Project Hail Mary. Any movie I talk about, I promise you, spoilers. Okay, so just get the hell off. Um, the real story of him being forced to go and save the world, and the there's what's the word I'm looking for? You have confidence, and then you have not conviction, not I forget the word. It's like if you know how to do it, and then you know you can do it.
Oh.
Does
Oh.
that make
A little bit. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. It's like it's a story of a man being forced to leave the world, which by the way, he has nothing there. There's
Yep.
nothing on earth for him except for being a teacher to students. And he leaves this world, and he doesn't know he's not confident in his abilities. He knows that he can or that someone can do what they're trying to accomplish and save the earth, and he knows kind of the steps to take, but he's not confident in himself. and he feels like he's being forced to go to kind of write down the steps for these other people to save the world. And when he wakes up on that ship and the world's not saved, it's not dead, but it's not saved, and he's the last man standing, he's forced to find that confidence because he's going to need it. And then you get to the point to where it's him and Rocky, and he's outside the ship. He finds that confidence. And when he finds the confidence, he no longer has the knowledge of what to do. So he goes from knowing what to do, but being scared to take the steps to do it, and then not having a clue what to do, but very confident that him and Rocky can do it.
Yeah,
And
I think something else, like the fact that everyone else on the ship is dead. Like he goes into it thinking, all right, well, I'm not the most prepared here, but at least there are people that will be able to handle this. And when
yeah,
they're dead, he's like, oh shit, this is all on me.
yes,
Another thing that happens in the end is the sacrifice that Rocky makes for him. As much as Ryan Gosling's character doesn't think of himself as worthy of the situation, here's someone from a completely different universe, a completely different species that is willing to risk everything to save, well, Earth, but that kind of gives him some sort of purpose.
right. He also his and Rocky's relationship I've looked at completely different too. Like
Mhm.
the first time it's like this buddy bromance that you kind of just stumble upon in this weird, beautiful way.
Mhm.
And then on the second watch, I wasn't as concerned about their relationship because I was so immersed in what the actual story was and his character arc.
Mhm.
And on this most recent watch, really, really focused in on the fact that he was forced out into this alone. Even
Mhm.
though the people he was with, he was kind of relying on them, and he left Earth alone. He doesn't have anybody at home waiting on him. And there's not really anything that tells you he ever had anybody.
Yeah, if
Um,
anything, the first half of the movie, they're basically telling you that he doesn't take himself seriously. Like,
exactly.
like
And
even when he's like, oh, when they tell him that he's got to do something, he's like, why? I'm just a teacher. So he
yeah,
doesn't think that he's up to I don't know the grade of what they're looking for.
right. It's like telling a drunk Wolverine that he's the anti being or whatever, the anchor being. That's kind of how he's feeling. He's like, why me? Like, I've done nothing to prove anything.
Hmm.
And then he meets this rock, this alien being that has all the faith in the world in this guy.
Hmm.
Never met him, doesn't know him from, he doesn't know from his asshole to his elbow, but he knows, hey, you're here. You're the last one standing. My family's gone. Yours is gone. We both have the same goal. Let's do this together, and I have faith in us. And the fact that it's funny, there's a saying, dumb as rocks, but this rock's the smartest damn thing ever. And this rock is like, they become family, and I don't know. I'm ranting. My Adderall kicked in. But you get what I'm saying. Like
Sure.
it's just the building of their relationship and how he changes throughout the story. I didn't notice his character. That there you go. I shouldn't have ranted for that damn long. I didn't notice his character arc truly until by the third watch, and I connected all the dots. And that um, I just what are the creators' names?
Lord Miller.
Yeah, Lord and Miller. What is it? Chris Lord and Phil Miller, I
I
believe.
think so.
Yeah, I think so. They might be the best storytellers of the movies that have come out in my generation.
Hmm.
Uh, you go to comedy, like they made two of the best comedies from the 2000s on, like 21, 22 Jump Street.
Hmm.
Brilliant comedy movies, in my opinion. Then you have the Spider-Verse movies. arguably two of the best Spider-Man movies ever made, the
Hmm.
best coming of age story I think made in my lifetime. And then you have Project Hail Mary. And they're all these movies are so different, but they all have so much heart. And heart is something that you don't find in movies nowadays. There's great movies for sure, but heart's not a priority in a lot of these.
Yeah, sincerity. Um,
Innocence is a big part of their films too.
yeah, the three movies that you brought up, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. There's a lot of despair in that movie.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's a fair assessment that there's not much hope. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all right, I agree with that.
And I think that all their movies too, like even if you look at people would call me nuts for comparing 21 and 22 Jump Street to fucking Spider Verse. But there's similar beats and even in Project Hail Mary where you have you take Jonah Hill's character, you take Miles Morales, and then you take I forget his name in the movie, but Gosling's character. They're all nobodies. Miles is a nobody, Ryan's a nobody, Jonah Hill's is a nobody.
Mhm.
And then they don't believe in themselves. They don't have confidence. And then by the end of the movie, they're the one that everyone looks up to save everything. And even though other people think that, hey, you can do it, they end up meeting other people who think that they can do it, but they still don't have that confidence.
Mhm.
Even if they know the steps, they don't have that confidence. And then they build that confidence throughout the movie, and then by the end of the movie, they complete their goal and they formed relationships that are true, and there's a lot of heart in it, and there's so much hope. Like you said,
Mhm.
movies like Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, it's funny the entire movie. The entire movie's hilarious. There's really high stakes. It's great writing. Sam Rockwell probably carries a lot of weight in that movie,
Mhm.
admittedly. I think if it wasn't Sam Rockwell in that role, the movie wouldn't work as well. I think there's a lot to be said about the writing and the story that is good, but I think his performances is just it's mind blowing on what he did. And the satire in the movie, like the bots and shit. That's hilarious. But all this happening because he wants to save his mom.
Yeah.
And then finding out that the princess that he didn't know was his mom. And he at first he told her not to come along. Spoilers, I guess. He told her in the diner, no, you're not coming. And then he was like, well, maybe you come this time. I haven't worked with you. You come along this time. And then finding out who she is, and then finding out she's his mom. There's a lot of what was the word you used?
Despair.
Yeah, there's a lot of heartache in that, but there's also um, it's a happy ending. It's not a hopeful ending. There's no hope throughout that movie.
Well, yeah, you think about the fact that in that movie you have people that lose their children to school shootings, and a serious subject matter to cover in a movie, first of all. Um, and they just deal with it rather than dealing with the loss. They'll just get a brand new bot that is kind of like their kid, but um, like that's so depressing to think of. Like, oh, I'll just have a robot version of my kid and not really think about the fact that I lost my kid.
Yeah,
There's bigger things happening with the movie that you don't really need to get into if you don't want to, but it's saying something pretty bleak about how we just deal with trauma and just kind of, all right, what's the next best thing? I'll whatever. I don't want to change anything. I'm not brave enough to meet the situation, but I would like to feel a little bit better. So what's the easiest path for me to have done something?
right. It it explores on all accounts the easy way out and
Hmm.
how acceptable to the times that we are. Like
Hmm.
it's talks heavy into like in that probably one of the best intros and character introductions I've ever seen. And he walks in that diner. Where were you when physical media and record stores and stuff like went away? And you don't even know what year they went. And it shows, it's like, no, he's right. Where were we when blockbusters went away? Like we
Yep.
all talk about, we wish we had them now, but
Right.
okay, what if one was to come now? What would happen? It'd be the shit for the first 2 weeks, and then after that, it would go out of business again.
We like talking about things. We don't like doing things.
Exactly. And then you get to the school shooting thing. It's crazy how funny that was, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
Right.
But that moment is that the moms come up to her and she's like, "Oh, your first time, dude." I
I would
fell out.
recommend you watch The Weatherman, which is another Gore Verbinski movie starring Nicolas Cage. It's dark humor, but um,
That's one that I've heard people talk about, and I still
I would
haven't watched
suggest
it.
it. Don't put too much expectation into it. But if you like the humor of Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, I would throw The Weatherman into your watch list somewhere.
I heard someone say "Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die" is the closest thing we'll ever get to like another Tropic Thunder.
Oh wow!
I don't agree with that. I don't even think it's close to Tropic Thunder. I don't think
No,
it's funny in
it's
that
different
way.
styles. Yeah,
It's not humorous in that way. It's not raunchy. It's
yeah.
satire. Even though Tropic Thunder is still satire, and so is Good Luck Have Fun. That's
They're
satire as well,
tonally different. They're very
way
different.
different. And people are comparing it into the fact that it's hitting hard subjects.
Yeah.
No, I'd say Good Luck Have Fun Don't Die hits way harder subjects than Tropic Thunder does. But Tropic Thunder is holding a mirror up and making fun
Hollywood.
of Hollywood.
Right.
And they are Hollywood. Good Luck Have Fun Don't Die is holding a mirror up to society and to you and to
Hmm.
me. It's
Hmm.
not they're not making fun of themselves, they're making fun of the world.
Hmm.
And it's not even really making fun of. It's like, hey, look how ridiculous you look, and then you're like, oh yeah, I do look it. I look stupid, and then you laugh at yourself. Tropic Thunder, they're holding a mirror up to Hollywood, and then you're laughing at them, and they're laughing at themselves. Completely different. And
Yeah, I don't know if Tropic Thunder asks you a question
yeah,
that there's an answer to. I think there's a bunch of questions that Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die asks, and if anything, the main proposal of the kids dying in a school shooting thing, like if your answer is well, just get a brand new kid, and not how do we prevent this from happening, like does that seem normal to you that you'd rather just get a brand new robot version of your kid than trying to prevent the shooting from happening?
right.
Like it's a I mean, I get it. If people don't want to think that, I completely understand. But it does present that that theory.
So now we can, I guess there's no segue into this. So instead of segue, and I'm just going to wrecking ball into it. Inception. What we so started off by saying I've never seen Inception, and to some people, you said it's not crazy, but to some people that is insane. Um,
Considering
there's
your
a,
age, it's not crazy. If
yeah,
you were like 35, I'd be like, really? What was wrong with you?
yeah, but at what point is it no longer an excuse? You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. I guess there's no
um,
right answer. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I guess see, I grew up like whatever my pops had on DVD. We were broke a lot, so we didn't have. I had some cable years, but not a lot. Like I grew up on Blu-rays and DVDs. That's why I
Nice.
collect them now, is because I'm so scared. Like especially with how money tight I am right now, I could lose everything if I have a damn TV, a DVD player, and my movies. That's all I need.
Especially with the state of digital media where they're taking your shit away from you even if you own it. It's
Exactly.
not a fun time to be someone who trusts digital, that's for sure.
I actually went back, and even though I have my PS5 and I have a lot of digital games downloaded that I've bought.
Dude,
I've
Sony's
actually
so
went
fun.
back. Yeah, I've went back and I've actually bought a lot of them on physical, like
Yeah.
just to make sure I don't lose them.
Hmm.
Um, but with Inception, I'm I'd say I'm not the biggest Nolan fan.
Hmm.
Kind of what I explained to you is that it takes a lot of watches for me to fully understand a movie that he's
Hmm.
done, with
Hmm.
exception. And I'm not the smartest. I of course I think logical. I can comprehend pretty well, but I'm not the brightest light bulb in the room, and so I'm very intimidated. And like I just watched Interstellar for the first time last year. It took me a couple watches, but I loved it.
Hmm.
And Inception, I watched it for the first time. Admittedly, I will admit this, I fell asleep about
Yeah.
um what was it? It was
Well,
the
it's a movie about
same.
dreaming, so you were just cosplaying. You were just getting
Yeah,
involved with the story.
you know what? I think I watched it correctly because I think I extracted. Um, or that, or I went into limbo. Anyway, also this spoilers for Inception. Again, so I watched it and I fell asleep about three quarters or so. Um, I would say it was probably around whenever he's finally telling the story about limbo and what limbo really is. And then I think that's what it's called, limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unconstructed dream space.
right. Coma for us simpletons. Um. Anyways, he's explaining limbo, and then I went into limbo, and I didn't come out for a while.
Hmm.
And then today I finished the end of it this morning. I was at the doctor's office. I finished it, and I think I had maybe, I don't know, like an hour or so left of the movie. Finished it, and then came home, wrote down some notes, and I'm like, I'm not putting this together correctly. I don't think because I feel like I was missing certain shit. And
Okay.
so shout out to the Real Rejects. I watched their reaction to it because I wanted to watch it quick, like, and
Okay.
they do a really good breakdown of the movie. So I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? I bet I can watch this, and they're smarter than I am. They can break it down for me. Whatever I missed, I can catch.
Hmm.
And I caught a lot more, and I think I finally understand the movie, and I didn't have to watch it three times.
Oh,
Um,
you'll understand and appreciate more the more you watch it.
the beginning, I swear to God, if you're not familiar with a Nolan film
Hmm.
or this concept in any way, shape, or form, the first 20 minutes are gonna fucking lose you.
Yep.
And I was lost. And then the watching them react to it, they showed a good bit of that opening 20 minutes, and I caught on quick. But before they even said anything, I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, that makes sense, and this makes sense." And so you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna tiptoe around it no more. Let's go ahead and get into it. What about Inception made you fall in love with it? How was your first viewing experience, if you remember it?
So this might make you laugh, but when I saw it opening weekend in the theater, I was waiting for spinal surgery, so they had me jacked up on pain meds, and halfway through Inception on my first viewing, I fell asleep um, in the theater, and I think we ended up watching it again that same weekend. So me falling asleep, I don't remember at what point I fell asleep in the first viewing. Um, I liked it, but I knew I missed a ton. And then watching it again after a few days and sitting with it, I liked it. It wasn't what I would call my favorite movie of all time. When it came out on Blu-ray, watched it, appreciated more, liked it, and it's a thing that every year, 6 months or so, when I rewatch it, I appreciate it more and more. And the more I've watched the movies, the more I've kind of taken things in. It features two two of my favorite things to get out of movies, and it blends them nicely. It's you're putting yourself down, but Nolan feels like the the normal guy's smart man, where he doesn't hold anyone's hand through his movies. A different movie, a different filmmaker would give you some sort of visual cue to let you know that this is a dream. So I'm going to let you know it's a dream because I'm going to make everything all gray or blurry or whatever. But Nolan doesn't do that because he has some sort of respect for the audience.
Which
I
I
like
love. I love
right,
that he trusts his audience. So
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Listen, if I need to watch it again, I'll watch it again. But
Hmm.
don't tell me in the dialogue. Let me see it. Let me learn it. Let me experience it. Um, So I like movies that feel smart, but I also pick up on it. And it's a really good action movie. It's a heist movie. And if I can watch an action movie and feel kind of smart, I really enjoy that. Like there are times where I'll watch, dramas that, there's not much going on. It's just, you know, uh, emotional stuff. And to have all of that in one movie, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, I really appreciate this for everything that it is. It's not perfect at any one thing, but it's so good at a bunch of different things together that it's like this fruit punch that I really enjoy.
Right. It's and also another movie I've never seen, and I even texted you this, but it was kind of how I was thinking. But I know of the movie, and I know what the movie is. Then there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen, almost because everything that's in them is so pop culture that I feel like I have seen it. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yes, yeah,
The
or
Matrix
things
is
that's influenced. Yep, yep.
The
I know some.
Matrix is one of them. I've never seen it, never seen any of them.
Hmm.
Feels like I have. It feels like I've seen it a million times. I've seen so many clips. I know the story front to back. I don't feel the need to see it, and eventually I will right that wrong.
Hmm.
But this movie feels like, as accurately as I can say it, not have seen The Matrix, it feels like Nolan's response to The Matrix, also to Oceans, like Oceans 11. It feels like he kind of mixes those two and puts them together, and instead of the Matrix he uses time and dreams, and then instead of being about the Ocean's crew, it's about this guy trying to get back to America to his family, and then he involves a murder mystery in that, and then it's even deeper than that, and then you're also trying to figure out what this heist is. And anytime, I think he balances that really well with Cobb's solo story, because it's very much a singular story that's very easy to keep up with, versus the second plot with him gathering this team to plant this idea into Fisher's head.
Hmm.
And I think that's a balancing act that, just like we talked with Spider-Man, that can make a movie feel super overstuffed.
Hmm.
Also, you got this crazy concept about dreams. There's extractions, subconscious, and subconscious is actually more of the activities that are happening in the dream rather than it's the people in the dream that you put in, and it's the movement inside the dream rather than singular thoughts. And it's
Yeah,
not
in your subconscious, in the dream, if you don't trust someone, like uh,
Elliot Page and Leo. That whole thing explains
r-
the
r-
subconscious really well.
right. So when they're in the dream space and their subconscious doesn't trust them, like they try to attack the people dreaming. That's not you like going out of your way to think it, but your subconscious is like protecting your thoughts by doing that. So that's one of the things that on a few extra viewings it feels a little bit better. I feel.
That
Um,
was honestly my favorite part of the movie. Like, my favorite is crazy. I understand why some people would love like the Arthur fight scene in the hallway. I get that,
that's
but
all in camera too. That would be special effects today.
yes, and it's crazy that there is CGI in this movie and you can't
Hmm.
tell.
Hmm.
It's like they're CGI because there's no other way to not do it. And I feel like honestly nowadays if Nolan was to remake this movie, I feel like he would find a fucking way not to have CGI in it. Like he would have probably built a set that would have folded in half and
Yeah.
landed perfect. But anyway, my favorite scene is the mirror scene where it's him and Elliot Page and he's telling her about his subconscious and she's like, tell your subconscious to chill out and she grabs the mirrors and she folds them. Also the camera play in that's crazy because how did you not
Oh,
see the
oh,
camera?
when he first shows her how to do things in France or whatever.
Right. And he's like, don't bring things from the real world
Yeah,
like
don't base it on real places. Yeah.
and how your subconscious like you was talking about it's he says it's like white blood cells that it attacks an infection. They don't trust you. My subconscious doesn't know you. They're
Hmm.
going to attack you like an infection. I thought that was really, really interesting on how well that was put. Because honestly, this movie could have been pretentious and it could have been so self indulgent
Yep.
and so highbrow that, and it's not. It's actually like, even though one like me didn't understand it completely, the story I got, it was just little ingredients that I wasn't catching. And
Hmm.
so it'd have been so easy for someone else to just make this movie. If Kubrick would have made this movie, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Would have
Not,
been a
not,
bit much.
oh my God. But what was, because I want to know, you've made a movie, right? Or you've been on sets, you've been a director of
Uh,
some things.
I've done things. I've sold jokes that I can't legally take credit for. Um, I wrote and shot a couple of things that I ultimately. There's two things that I did, and one I didn't finish. Nothing that I'm willing to say is worthy of anyone's time, but I have some experience. Yes.
So, and you went to film school.
Yeah.
You completed, right? Like
Nope.
you,
Dropped out.
first year, second year.
Second year when they started
Is
teaching like the ins and outs of audio. I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not
is
learning this.
is film school where you learn to edit?
Sure, it can be. I
Because
knew how to edit before film school, and if anything, I cost myself by not paying too much attention. I knew what to do, and I just did whatever they needed me to do. But I didn't really pay attention because I was like, I know how to do this, and I kind of cost myself because there's stuff that I probably could have learned.
like I use Premiere Pro, but I
Yep.
don't use it on my laptop because well, I think my HP desktop back there would run it pretty decent.
Hmm.
But honestly, I truly believe if you want like the best editing to learn Premiere Pro front to back, if
Yep.
you can, and have a MacBook,
Yep.
and
Which I have.
I can't afford that luxury. I think Premiere Pro works best on MacBook and I
Mhm.
just can't afford it. So they actually came out with a version that actually runs really well on iPhone. So I have
Nice.
Premiere Pro for free on my iPhone and pay nothing for it.
Awesome.
And I can't do all the fancy shit. Like
Yeah.
I can edit audio, I can edit video, it will allow certain overlays, but you can't use any of the assist. You cannot use like tags. Like you have what's it called in Premiere? Like your media, like your or you can save files into Premiere. Like you have certain fonts you like constantly using or intros and
Mm.
outros that you want to save. You can file them inside of Premiere, right?
Shit. You're asking the wrong person because there's things that like I just have and I there are things that I can do, but I can't explain you what it's called. I can't tell you like what the command is. I just from muscle memory. There's so many things. This is
Right.
like 20 years of editing that I don't know what it's called. It's just I know how to do it. I can't tell you what it is.
Right.
or what the name of it is, like what hot buttons. And that's another thing. There are keyboard commands that I just do not do. I'm just always mousing it, and I'm a bit prehistoric in that sense. I don't know. I bet if I saw it, if I like saw it on the screen, but I'd be like, oh, that thing. But I don't know what to call it.
Well, when I do have some questions that I haven't been able to ask anybody yet because you're actually, I think, the only person I've talked to that uses Premiere Pro like to a full extent, and I'm
I
almost
wouldn't say
positive.
that I use it fully, but go
Well,
on.
I have some personal questions I'd like to ask you when we get off here, if you stick around for just a minute. But
Mhm.
anyway, you being an editor, and you're a damn good editor, in my opinion. I know from listening to you talk to Cody all these years that you take full pride in your editing as well.
When I do
Um,
it, yeah.
yeah, you like putting all the bells and whistles in the simplest of things. You'd rather quality than quantity in certain
Yeah,
ways.
yeah, that's
I'm the
fair.
same way. But you having the film experience that you do have, you learning the things that you did learn in film school, and your editing skills and the things that you do know about editing. What impresses you most about Inception? Whether it be a certain shot, like I mentioned, the mirror shot with the camera, or it be the sound design, or I mean anything. What impresses you most?
Shit, on the technical aspect, I guess to your point, the fact that there's like when you see a city block fold on itself, and it kind of it's a 15-year-old movie now. It kind of looks like
Real.
it looks real. Like it doesn't look dated. You could watch like CG stuff from like 2013, and you're like, oh, that, that really very clearly is CG. Um, I think that the more I watch Inception, the more I appreciate other elements of it from a filmmaking standard. Again, Nolan is a normal guy's smart guy. There are things that he does in that movie that are hints. Um, in the movie, they talk about uh, the token, the totem.
Yeah,
Uh,
the totem.
yeah, which is you fell. This guy right here. Um,
Oh, that's so cool. You have what?
Yeah, I think it came with the special edition Blu-ray whenever I got it. Look at how like rusty it is. It's seen some
That is so cool though.
yeah,
I mean,
it's awesome.
I got a Yahtzee die. I guess I can like paint it red and call it Arthur's totem.
Yeah. So the thing about I don't know when I really first started noticing it, but um the totem that Cobb uses in that movie, they say it very clearly that it was Maul's.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
my theory, and they never again, he never really points and tells you something, but whenever Cobb is dreaming, he has a wedding ring on.
Yes,
That is his totem.
yeah. And he has a wedding ring, and then that's what kind of throws me off at the end. Just to fast forward real quick, is it no longer becomes him trying to get to his family. It's just him coming to terms. And I looked up a couple theories because I was curious because it said, his wife set him up, and Maul wasn't sure if she was in reality or not, and he was
Mhm.
trying to convince her, and she killed herself and then set him up as the murderer. A part of me almost wonders if, and it's just something I seen and it kind of sold me, was if he was the delusional one.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories that some I don't completely agree with, but I think it's fun. I think the fact that the movie's ambiguous. I feel like it's not. I'd feel like he's awake. He doesn't really care about whether or not that he's dreaming. He's gonna go be with his family. Um, I do think, to be a bit of a film nerd about it, I think um, the Mal's totem is a representative of Cobb's guilt
Yeah.
for her, and we don't know what his deal is until the third act, where we get shown the fact that he does Inception with her and convinces her that uh, everything's not what she thinks it is, and he's the one who spins the top. Um, so it'd be weird for him to use the totem when it's such a key element to something that is responsible for his wife uh, coming to this conclusion that she needs to die about to escape. Um, I think it's representative of his guilt over his wife, and once he's back with his kids, he's going to let himself live. He's not going to worry about how he feels about Maul and whatever happened with her, because he's got to live. He's trying to move forward. And there's a couple of things that carry thematically. Guilt is pretty heavy, and he's something of a. I mean, he did it again. He with the thought to sell the company. Granted, it's not that big a deal. It's not like robbing a bank or anything, but it is. It's a decision that somebody wasn't going to make. But they convinced this guy to sell his father's company. It's the lightest of heist subjects, but it's not something the guy was thinking about. They kind of prey on his subconscious and his thinking, and the fact that he leaves the totem behind tells me that it doesn't really matter where he is. He's just going to live. He's going to move on and spend time with his family, and not going to concern himself with whatever baggage he's holding from the past. And on top of that, his token is his wedding ring, because they talk about it in the movie that we all have a token that we bring in. This was Maul's. So if they all went into a dream together, and Maul's token was the top, what was Cobb's token? Because why would he not have a token until Maul dies?
And that's why, like you said, and something that I've actually noticed was the wedding ring. I think the ring is his totem. Now how the wedding ring totem works, because he's not. It's like that. Okay, does he take it off whenever as soon as he gets into the dream? But then you see him wake up, and it's not on his hand when he, or not when he wakes up, but it's not on his hand like when he's in the dream, and you see him like start in a dream. I think I counted twice that you actually see him start the dream. You see him go into it several times. You see him come out several times.
Mm.
But normally, whenever the dream starts, he just like he told I forget the name, Elliot Page's name in the movie,
Mhm.
but like he tells Elliot Page, like, how did we get here? And in
Ariadne.
the, yeah, and she's like, well, and he goes, exactly, you don't know.
Yeah,
And
that's an awesome thing too. Like when we have a dream, we don't remember the beginning. It's always our dreams start, and it's just we're doing something.
exactly.
It's a nice little touch.
And there's like two moments to where you actually kind of see the dream start almost. And he doesn't have the ring on, but you'd never see him take it off.
Sure.
But I guess the ring could be a totem if I mean, I guess he knows he's not dreaming if he sees the ring.
Well, the other thing is we know that I forgot which one has the die as their
Arthur.
totem. Arthur's got the die. We don't see him. We only see that die once. We don't
Yeah,
see
when
it
he's
every time he
showing,
wakes up.
right.
So maybe it's just in his pocket. The thing about the totems are, it's got a specific weight that only
You
and
know
it's
of.
it's it's for you. So if he has it on his finger and whatever's happening in the dream, he knows how much it weighs and whatever. And when he's awake, maybe it's in his pocket or something.
Right. I mean, it's something super simple that you can just kind of explain away, and it
Sure.
doesn't need. But
And I
it's
probably
just
could be explained out of it, but um, it's really interesting, and I think the discussions like this are fun. Um,
absolutely. Um.
but to your original question, as far as technically is concerned, I
Oh
probably
yeah.
enjoy the story itself, the way there's themes in it, the way it really. I mean, you could say this for a lot of Nolan, but it really rewards multiple watches, and the themes are pretty subtle,
So
and
the writing is the technical part that
probably
you enjoy the most.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I
What
mean, how the fuck do you think to write a story about people that dream, but then they dream within a dream, and then they dream within a dream within a dream, and it somehow makes sense by the
what
end?
the and there's so many, and also I think Nolan. I will say I don't think Nolan is the best. Him normally it's him and his brother, correct,
Hmm.
who write the
Jonathan.
films.
Yep.
And I don't know if his brother's ever, or I don't know if he's ever made a movie that his brother wasn't a part of. Because they're
Good question. I know his brother did the Westworld series on HBO.
yeah, and I know when Nolan talks about movies, he's very open. He's like, well, me and my brother, me and where he'll say his name.
Hmm.
Um, but like the Odyssey, I don't think it was him and his brother.
Hmm.
And Inception, I'd have to look it up. Okay, well then yeah. So Jonathan wasn't a part of Inception nor
Oh,
the Odyssey. I haven't seen the Odyssey. Something
cool.
I've heard is that the exposition in the Odyssey is done extremely well. Let me look up one more. Did Jonathan Nolan write uh this one? Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Oppenheimer, which I have seen, Inception, which I've seen, the Odyssey I haven't, so I don't know. But as far as exposition for Nolan movies, I truly think, besides the Dark Knight trilogy, that Inception and Oppenheimer are really good with their exposition. That it's done through dialogue, but it's the certain things of like he explains limbo.
Hmm.
He explains the subconscious.
Yep.
Also shows you that shit.
Yeah, it's another thing that I like about Nolan that I think, for as much as Tarantino does masterfully well with both dialogue and visuals, I don't think Nolan is the best visual storyteller because he does resort to exposition through dialogue. I think a different filmmaker could probably get you information by showing you images. Um, so that's another thing that I like about Nolan. He's not the best at visual storytelling. He's not the best at exposition, but blending those two together, he's very good at giving you both visuals and exposition while not relying too heavily on one or the other.
And he knows that he has a, a pretentious crowd, and they're very highbrow. There are
I
some
see. I kind of disagree. I think people who think like Nolan is. I think if you think Nolan is like pretentious, I don't know if those people have watched actual pretentious shit. Like again, for normies, it's probably like the ceiling for what we would tolerate for
right.
like wordy shit.
No,
But
no, no.
there's
I wouldn't call Nolan that, by the way.
no. Um, okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry.
I wouldn't call Nolan pretentious. I think that he's aware that he has. I'll say this.
Pretentious following.
But he knows it's not his entire following. I think he knows that a certain, of the pie,
Mhm.
a third, a quarter to a third of that crowd is very much that, and they might not, they don't think of him as such, but they are, he knows their expectations. He also
Yeah,
knows.
Ryan Lomax is what you're talking about.
I love Brian Lomax,
Of
but I
course,
was
I
not
do
going to
too.
say it in that way. But that's exactly what I was thinking. I was literally thinking between me, you, and Brian, out of us three, Brian would be the one that, he. I think me and you are more along the lines of like, I don't want you to only tell me, nor do I want you to only show me. If you show me exposition and don't tell me shit, I will get so lost. I won't know what the hell is happening.
Dude,
But
he sat in this room next to me, and we discussed the Nolan 13 films, and
yes, I love
he
that
had
podcast, by the way.
he had like an 11-way tie for first place, and it's like they're not all flawless, man. Like,
He's like, what was it like? Oh, what did he have? Or you know what? I think you had like Interstellar at like number six, and
I did.
Interstellar was super high for him,
Yep,
like maybe his number two
that might
or
be
number.
right.
And y'all's conversation between Interstellar, by the way, was one of the best, I'd say, movie conversations I've ever heard. I swear, because no, because it's about perspective, and that's like what I'm trying to get to with Inception is Nolan understands his crowd. Nolan is like one of those directors that truly understands every angle of his audience.
Hmm.
Everyone that he knows is going to go see the movie, he knows what kind of audience he has. And so he knows that there are some that if you just show them shit, they're not going to understand it. And if you just tell them shit, they're going to get annoyed and bored and fall asleep. And
Well, to kind of paint the picture a little bit, you have to keep in mind that when this movie came out, Nolan was like coming off The Dark Knight. Like,
yeah,
oh shit, the new Batman guy is making a new movie, and he does this dream heist movie that kind of knocks you on your ass. Um, he kind of defeats what we know about comic book filmmakers, where he just gave us perhaps the best Batman movie, and he follows it up with this crazy dream heist movie that, again, respects an audience. And I mean, going back and watching something like The Prestige, maybe people were prepared for it, but
yeah. I need to watch that. It got spoiled for me, unfortunately. Like I think I told, I think I was texting you. I was either texting you or Marcus, but just in case, I'll tell everyone here. Um, I got 30 minutes or so, maybe more, maybe less, into the Prestige, and I said I bailed. I cut it off. I was lost,
yeah.
and that movie lost me. I've always wanted to go back and watch it, but it actually recently got spoiled for me. And that's
Oh,
one that spoiler honestly makes so much sense, and I think it will make the rewatch so easy. And me and my girlfriend,
perhaps.
we always like make theories and shit before we watch, or like while we're watching the movie. Um, but honestly, the movie being spoiled for me, I don't want to spoil it for anyone else because I think that reaction could have been. That might be the closest thing to like Bruce Willis being dead in Sixth Sense. That
There's
shit
more to
was
it than that, to be honest. There's a couple of things that happen in that movie that um,
also
are worth experiencing.
going back to the Prestige. Like after finding out the spoiler and then thinking about um what Michael Caine is talking about. I'm not very early in the movie is all I'll
Hmm.
say. It makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
He damn near tells you, and they even kind of show you like the twist and saying it's like right there in front of you the whole time, but you're so looking at something else and you're expecting something else that you
So
know.
the other thing, again, Nolan thematically does some incredible work. I don't know how far you got, but if you saw the birds where one gets squished, when the little
Yes,
girl's like, "What happened to the
I
bird?"
think.
if you think about what happens in that movie, just replace the bird with Hugh Jackman.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. 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 And
He
that's
he
the
has these setups that like are drizzled throughout the movie, and I'm telling you, the Prestige is something that I rewatch every now and again, and that too grows for me every time I watch it. Or I'm like, man, I the more I watch it, the more I'm like comfortable with it, and the more I really appreciate it. Like the more you know when you watch it again, you're like, oh, there's some new shit that I didn't realize, and I know
there's
I, I can't say that for every filmmaker. Where it's like, yeah, I rewatched 17 again, and still sucks.
17 again. That's hey, that's not a bad movie, but
You're not watching it
compare.
5 times. That's what I'm saying.
You know, hell no. I think I watched it like once when it like around when it came out, and then after Matthew Perry died, I went
Oh shit, yeah.
yeah because I love Matthew.
Hmm.
That was my favorite actor. Um, this is gonna get depressing quick, but anyway, off that subject. Going back to what I
Nolan,
was.
Inception. Sorry, it was my fault.
No, no. Going back to Nolan knowing his audience and him how well he does the exposition. I think that the exposition and how he does it in Inception is probably the best he's done it in any movie he's done
Hmm.
because of the balancing act of showing and versus telling
Hmm.
and what he chooses to show versus what he chooses to tell. He doesn't show you, like he doesn't show you the limbo and then tell you the limbo, or he doesn't um like a lot of the is her name Mal or Mal?
Maul. I don't know
Mal
if it's for short for Mallory or
something, but
I call her Maul as in Darth.
yeah,
Um,
Darth Maul. Yeah. But so the whole Maul thing that he tells you a lot more than he shows you up until about the I'd say about the third act they start showing you more.
Mhm.
But that's something that he knew he had to kind of do a little bit of both. The limbo, I don't think they showed anything in the limbo. I think that was strictly just tell.
Yeah, and even when he explains what happened with that, him and Maul were already there.
Yeah, and
And
like
then
it was like
they give you a
50
bunch of
years.
flashbacks. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
yeah,
said we
there's
get old together. He's like, we did. And then they show a clip of them as like senior citizens walking down that aisle.
yes, but they don't really show them like what he said. They built a life.
Hmm.
It was like 50 years. They built a whole entire life together.
Hmm.
He shows you moments and specs and clips of that, but he doesn't show you that like it could have been like fucking, in Sweeney Todd when the dude's talking about his ex-lover and her being taken away and everything. Like, as he's narrating it, it's showing you that whole thing. That's a pet peeve I have when they're giving exposition and the characters narrating and then they're showing you while they're narrating. That's a waste of time. Don't do that. To me, that is so annoying. He could have very easily done that with the limbo thing, and the limbo thing could have stretched for damn near 20 minutes. And it could have been just scenery chewing shit for Leo, and Nolan could have went up his own ass with that, and he didn't. He held back a lot, and I really appreciated that.
Respecting the audience, thinking the audience is smarter
Yes,
than regular people would. I don't know. There's certain people that wouldn't respect the audience and like hold their hand through shit.
yeah. Tarantino, if he made Inception, it would have just been a heist movie, and the twist would have been that Cobb actually shot and killed his wife and called her
Yeah.
the N word,
Yeah.
and then Quentin probably would have ripped Leo's face off, and it had been him the whole time, and it'd have been fucking weird. But yeah, just basically my whole point about that, I dragged that shit out for a while, didn't I? Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, Nolan respects the hell out of his audience, and the movie, like I said, I was very intimidated, as I am with almost any Nolan movie, unless it's superhero related. Uh, I was so scared of being so lost, and it took me a really long time to watch it. I'm so glad I watched it. I get why it's your favorite movie. Like you said though, I think it took. I've seen Interstellar like 3 or 4 times, and the first time I watched it, didn't get it. The second time I watched it, got it completely, and just loved it. But it wasn't like, one of my favorites. The third time I watched it or so, it's now probably I'd say it's in my top 20 or so favorite movies of all time. If I had to make a list.
Hmm.
Um this is one that I could see myself watching again and again and again. And I mentioned how much I love Project Hail Mary. There's only so much in that movie that you can pick up. And then, there's certain movies that you're not going to pick up something after 3 watches. There's nothing else left to pick up. In Project Hail Mary, I don't think there's anything else left to pick up after 3 watches. Inception, you could probably pick shit up 20 times. 20 watches, you could probably start picking shit up more and more and more. There's so many things you can break down with this movie that would, like you said, make the rewatch value very valuable.
But
Um,
there's a ton of things that you pick up like on a third, fourth, fifth watch. Like, he the first guy who's dreaming has to pee, so it's raining. There's these little things that when something shakes, it affects the environment. There's so many different things. It's like the fact that he thought to have music be like the cue, and when you're deeper down, that music cue is actually like quieter and slower, but it's like heard
if,
throughout the environment. It's such a like who would think to do that? What a wild touch.
and the music almost fades. Like, I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
listen to like music when you're going to sleep,
Yes.
but
Right.
you're hearing it clear as day, but you're kind of muffling yourself
Hmm.
to like make it background, and then it becomes your subconscious, and then it fades, and you no longer hear it, and it's almost like it's just kind of flowing like light throughout.
Yeah.
That's how the score is in this movie. I think. Would you say Nolan probably has the best scores out of all directors? Not soundtracks, just scores strictly.
Hmm. Hans
Well,
Zimmer had quite a run there in the 2000s.
him, Spielberg, and like Lucas.
Yeah, it's certainly in the conversation. I would certainly say that.
Well, I say Spielberg, but really,
You have to keep in mind that Spielberg and Lucas probably the same guy when you're thinking of it because they're both John Williams.
yeah.
Star Wars, John Williams. E.T., John Williams. Jaws, John Williams.
See, that's funny. I was just gonna say, the Jaws score. Everyone, wait, Jurassic Park. That's Spielberg too, right?
Yes, that might be John Williams too. Like I'm
Yeah,
telling you, like when you
John
think of
Williams
like
made it.
classic movie soundtracks and scores, it more often than not, it's probably John Williams.
Yeah, yeah.
But Hans Zimmer's no joke. That's for sure. Although in
But
in the
can you?
Odyssey, it wasn't Hans Zimmer, but
No, it was Ludwig. Which Ludwig, dude, that Joker is insane. He is going to become the new like. I don't see him becoming John Williams, but I'd say the Joker might have the most Oscars underneath his belt as far as scores go.
hmm,
Like in the next, I can see in the next 20 years he'd be the most Oscar heavy composer.
okay.
Um, Ludwig's amazing. I'd say Ludwig and Hans Zimmer are neck
Yeah,
and neck for me.
I really enjoy Hans Zimmer. There's times where I'm like, oh, like I'll watch something that I'm not used to, and I'm like, oh, what's that score? Hans Zimmer.
I I
F1. I just watched F1. I'm like, man, I really like that score. Hans Zimmer. Okay, that makes sense.
you just watched F1 for the first time?
Uh, a few months ago, but yeah,
Oh, what'd you think about that one?
I rather enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. Um,
I haven't
a
seen
lot.
Gran Turismo, but like
I haven't
those
either.
type, maybe we need to watch that one and then come back together because like that I'm not a sports guy. I couldn't tell you shit about sports. I mean, I know how sports work, but I don't
A
know.
ball, you throw it and you catch it.
Yeah, yeah. Run the third base and then you throw to the goalpost, right? No. But I've never enjoyed sports. I couldn't tell you what's happening in sports right now. Even the World Series or the World Cup,
Mhm.
or whatever. The World Series is baseball. World Cup is
World Cup
football.
is over already, but yeah, yeah,
Right.
I get your what you're
Anyway,
saying.
sports stories I love.
Hmm.
Remember the Titans, Rudy, shit like that. Any given Sunday, I love F1. That felt like a sports movie we haven't had in such a long time.
Yeah,
That felt amazing to watch. Like I watched it and at first it felt like it was dragging a little bit and then it really picked up for me. I'd say whenever I think they're playing poker. It's him and
oh yeah,
that
with
that that
with
scene.
the chick with the manager or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was around within 10 minutes before, so that
Hmm.
is when the movie really picked up for me. That might be the midway point, but I'd say there hadn't been a great sports movie in 15 years or so, maybe even longer. And F1 like really found that
Hmm.
again. That felt like a classic sport movie.
Yeah.
Underdog story, coming of age in a different sense, coming of, I guess, on the brink of retirement, coming to that age. Um, the passing of the torch. I don't know. There's something really special about F1 to me.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
really enjoyed it. Um, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't think of a like a sports movie. I remember when Whiplash came out that it felt like a sports story, but just music.
dude, Whiplash. Funny enough, we're talking about favorite movies here. Inception being your favorite movie. Um, my number one favorite movie, in Whiplash, I normally say is my number one, but my number two, which I swap them out depending on the day you ask me. You never have to defend a Whiplash or an Inception, but when you're like me and sometimes you say I'm Legend, your favorite movie of all time, that deserves some defense. Uh, but I guess just pure nostalgia and enjoyment's why I'm Legend's my favorite. But Whiplash, that was probably the last really good sport like underdog story.
Yeah, like you just replace music with like basketball or boxing. Like you just take the music because it's like a teacher, a coach, and an athlete thing. A gifted person and a coach. You could
Yeah.
change it to anything. It could, boxing, football,
Are
whatever. But
you
it's got that same feel to it.
Whiplash is amazing. I remember I watched the first time I watched Whiplash actually that morning. I went to Walmart and bought Deadpool and Wolverine and watched it for the first time. And then that night, me and my girlfriend laid in bed and we watched Whiplash and then we watched what's the one with Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston? The
Oh,
Upside?
yes, yes.
Yes. I love that movie too. That movie's great. But yeah, we watched Whiplash and Upside for the first time. She hates Whiplash. She thinks it's the worst movie. She doesn't understand why anybody would like that movie, or I'd say she doesn't understand why anyone would enjoy the movie.
Yeah, my wife hates it because it makes her anxious.
Yeah, I think honestly, I might need to talk to my girlfriend and be like, "What about this movie triggers you? Is it the relationship? Is it the abuse in the movie?
Mhm.
And the ending of that movie is my favorite ending of a movie, I think.
Yeah.
The ending of Inception's not it's heavy, it's not grand. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't explode, but it doesn't whimper out either.
Well, a lot
sinks,
of people think it just kind of is
it
a dot
fades.
dot dot. Yeah, it just kind of. "Oh, what does this mean? I mean, it literally cuts on the top spinning where it gives you the opportunity to say, well, maybe it's still going. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's still going. Or
No,
no, it's not gonna. It stopped. Okay, it stopped. Anyone who has whatever their idea is, because the movie cuts at that shot, technically you're both right because it's Schrodinger's cat.
I
The
think,
top is still going and the top is down at the
and
same time.
clearly that was, you know, obviously that was a conscious choice to cut right there because you want that debate. You want that kind of ambiguous ending for the conversation because the longer the conversation lasts, the longer
Sure.
the movie.
They shot it. There's a deleted scene. I don't know. I have like 6 copies of Inception. There's a deleted scene on something where they just it falls, and
Really?
yeah, and they obviously didn't use that, and I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, because then the conversation would be pretty definitive. Um, I do think that the top fell over. I
Yeah.
think that the movies, you know what, that's pretty. You can call Whiplash and Inception with the same conversation as in what does the ending mean? And I don't think it matters with either. There's a debate with Whiplash, who won the battle. And it's to me it's not, you can debate all day long on who won, but it's not about that. It's about they both got what they wanted, that and the story led to that moment that they both worked so hard to get. In Inception, I saw it more as he finally came to terms.
Hmm.
That he finally, it doesn't matter if the top fell over or if it stayed up. It's that if he
Even if
came
he's
to,
even if he's dreaming, he's going to live his life with his family. Even if he's dreaming, he's fine with that.
yeah, he'll just do it as many times as it
Yeah,
takes.
it doesn't matter if he's dreaming. It doesn't like this feels real to him, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly, and that's like no Nolan sprinkled that throughout the whole movie. That okay, well, the dream world feels so real. Not because people don't think they're in reality, because everything looks like reality. You can be in a dream and everything look real, and you know you're in a dream. It feels like reality.
Mhm.
I touch you, you touch me, not inappropriately, or so if you want. But it feels real. So he comes to terms that okay, well, I can't stop it, I can't control it. So if this is how I see my family, and this feels real to me, this is what I'll do. Um, that's also heartbreaking too, because sure he can imagine his kids growing, but he doesn't. You don't know what your
Mm.
kids are like when they grow. You can't just make that. So I wonder how that would work to where like Elliot Page says she wonders what it would be like to mess with the architecture and the geography, and that's how she folds the earth.
Yeah.
What would it be like if you could you create someone from scratch?
Well, I guess so because like in that mirror scene, he's like, don't use real life things. I mean, I guess like you can. I
Well, he says
probably
you can pull certain things
yeah
from, but you don't want to use like you don't want to,
specific places and things. Yeah.
because that breaks your reality. But if you see 100 million people, throughout your life, you remember how a guy looked in a grocery store once. You
Hmm.
remember how. So I'm wondering if all those people, and he kind of sort of says it that he pulls these certain people from things he's seen. But
Sure. And like that's the creating things is one thing, but like Cobb is so affected. His subconscious is always thinking of Maul, and that's why she always comes into these dreams because he's bringing that guilt, that memory of her wherever he's going, even when he's dreaming about something that has nothing to do with her. Like his subconscious is like, hey, here's this thing that you don't want to think about, but it's here. So I think you can create something, but would your subconscious take over?
Right. That's kind of what I was getting at with like maybe because this kids already exist and you can almost if they're old enough, which they seem to be, but if someone's old enough, you can almost imagine how they'll look when they're older. They're not
Mhm.
going to look completely different. They're going to look like, a 12-year-old boy is going to look like that 12-year-old boy, just taller, maybe
Yeah,
wider and with hair.
I think the thing that the movie does, you never really see their faces. And I think that's something that like he's like mentally blocking, like I don't know what they look like right now. So I'll never see them turn around.
Wow, that's interesting. I never thought about that.
I'm telling you, watch it at least well one or two more times, and you'll. I've watched it at least 15 times, and it's like, oh man, that's interesting. I like when they uh, shock the fucking Killian Murphy's character when they
Mm-hmm.
give him the heart shock thing. There's thunder in the sky when they do the lightning thing. Like it, just there's tons of things that like when you watch it with a different set of eyes, you're like, oh wow, that's really impressive.
Right. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on here and talking. I'm sorry we went all over the damn place.
No reason to be sorry. No, no, it's fine.
Uh, it's always awesome. This second time you've came on, hopefully I can have you come on even more. I enjoyed talking to you. Um, the last episode we had was raunchy and fun. This one, I think I kept it more contained.
Yeah, a little PG-13 this time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I still had fun, dude. You have any, this will, last time I had a huge editing issue with downloading my episodes to where I couldn't
Oh,
get anything to download. And so I told you it would come out. I think we streamed it, like in May and I couldn't get it out until like July.
wow.
Yeah, I went a long time without posting because I couldn't get anything to download. But this one will for sure come out this Tuesday and Wednesday. So do you
Okay.
have anything you want to promote, talk about?
Um, we kind of talked about it earlier that I had Brian here. There's audio stuff that I've recorded episodes with my wife. It's kind of a thing that
Hmm.
I'm doing in person because there's two microphones here, and when I'm not in front of the camera, it's easier to just talk and hit record. The podcast is called Willis Credia Presents, Williscredia. And I'm pretty sure it's on Apple Podcasts and maybe a few others. But there's 3 episodes right now, and there's a couple more coming. But those are, I don't know. I like having conversations, and that's a bit more, I don't know, rewarding to me in the meantime, because trying to figure out YouTube is just a fool's errand,
YouTube is going downhill.
dude. It doesn't make sense. It's like I just I'm not a dancing monkey, so I'm not trying to play the algorithm game. And when I try to do it, it's like, okay, this didn't work, so this is all
Hmm.
boring. So if I could just talk to people and be a podcasting thing, I wouldn't mind doing that. But gotta flood the zone with a bunch of shit. But
Well, I don't
to
know if your podcast is on Apple or not. I have not honestly haven't even thought to check. I've listened to it on your Patreon. So,
right,
but if
right,
if
and
it,
that's the other thing too. Supporters through Patreon get access to it at least 2 or 3 days early. So
Mhm.
patrons, if you want to support myself and future endeavors, that's the best way to get everything first. And Patreon, everything that's worth my time is up there anyway.
Yeah, I really enjoy Patreon as a platform because
Mm,
for one, it's helping tons of creators out who like I mentioned earlier, the Real Rejects or this guy Billy Binges that I've watched, especially reactors people.
Mhm.
even ones that stay well within the fair use law.
Oh, dude,
Even
they're
reviewers,
savages. The
it's
copyright
savage.
stuff is ridiculous.
Like this guy Billy Binges has two copyrights, and it's Paramount. Universal used to be terrible, but right now it's
Universal and
Paramount.
Warner. Yeah.
Paramount has two videos of him that's given him two copyright strikes, and then he has six more pending. Six strikes from Paramount pending.
Yeah.
And you can't get a hold of any human on YouTube. It's all AI shit.
Yeah. No, best of luck. Yeah, that's the I don't want to say what it is, but on my Patreon, you can watch an entire movie with me that
Hmm.
there's zero chance I would even be able to put a minute of that on YouTube. I do appreciate that because people get their own ways to do things, and no one's trying to hurt anyone.
Yep.
And I've done stuff where I've talked about cinematography and the shit get claimed, and it's like, dude, this is the definition of fair use. I'm talking about why the shot exists and what it means to me, and artistically what it's supposed to influence. Like I'm transcending the material, and you're claiming it. Like I'm doing the right thing, and I don't have a lawyer to fight you, so
Yeah.
it's just it's unfair.
It is. And it's sad. And
But like you said, Patreon people have the freedom to at least do what they want to do and not worry about things in certain regards.
right. Yeah, yeah, I'll leave your Patreon in the description. I'll try to find it on Apple Podcasts or whatever it may be on. I'll look and I'll leave it in the description too.
Yeah, it's just
Uh
Willis Greedia presents. I think
okay.
is it.
Okay. Well then yeah,
It's
I'll
new, so it might not be like searchable yet. So there's certainly a chance that it's not out there yet.
oh yeah, you should be able to find it.
Really,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't do
Um
the right homework. So
yeah, whatever viewers I'll find, I'll leave in the description below. Just everyone, please, if you haven't already, which you probably have, you probably hear from him to me. So, but just in case, please go subscribe to him on YouTube. I highly recommend it because I actually find it very worth it. I find the benefits to fit me. I know not everyone's able to support everyone. Um, Economy's in a shithole right now, but if you can afford it, me personally, I fully would say that it's worth it.
I
Not
appreciate that.
expensive, not expensive at all. Very, very doable and livable. If you can, there's some jokers that can send 20 super chats but won't subscribe to a Patreon. Well, if you're that worried about it,
Yeah,
please instead of
just drop a super chat. It's all going to the same place. But like I think there's more benefit on Patreon. There's stuff that you get first.
Mhm.
And like I
As an
said,
audience member, it's
there's a particular movie that you can watch with me.
yes. I watched your reaction to the Matt Rife
Oh, right.
stand up
Yeah, there's a
special.
couple of things on there.
Yeah,
I forget
there's a
that there's
few.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to me and podcast, you know what? Maybe starting with this one, I might just upload on YouTube and Spotify the same day. I was trying to do Spotify earlier to try to catch an audience over there. No one listens to my shit, so fuck it. We're gonna
You
upload
got to
same
start
day.
somewhere. It's building an audience, not assuming an audience.
Right, right. I was trying to do some weird shit, but you know what? Just from now on, either on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, all on the same day, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. This episode will be up next Tuesday or Wednesday. So, yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. Go subscribe to Sipo